Good morning, Kinaway members, and welcome back to another episode of Kinaway TV. We hope you had a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and are back revitalised and ready for a big year in 2021. Before we kick things off this morning, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm coming to you all from. I'd like to also acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which each and every one of us are tuning in from, and pay respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. I'd like to also extend those respects to Indigenous people who are joining us this morning. As usual, I'd just like to take a moment to remind viewers of some of the support services currently available for Kinaway members, as we have currently reintroduced some additional services and grants. The first support package on offer, which is in collaboration with Kinaway member Claystone Marketing, is free access to Claystone's social media and marketing course. The course provides an overview of social media marketing strategies and tools, which helps highlight marketing opportunities for Indigenous business. It's a great resource and is really helpful for businesses looking to solidify their online presence. In another collaborative effort, Kinaway is excited to partner with Boost Legal Templates. Designed for small businesses, Boost Legal Templates gives you clarity, safety, and access to real quality legal templates. Just complete the friendly questionnaire and you will instantly receive your own legal template, which you can take pride in knowing it has been created specifically for your business. This collaboration will save member businesses time, money, and ensures businesses are on the go while implementing good business governance. Kinaway is proud to offer members a 25% discount across all Boost Legal Templates. So if you feel this is something you may be interested in, please contact the Kinaway team. Another support service we here at Kinaway are proud to deliver is a business tax support package. This package provides access to a range of bookkeeping and accounting services, preparation and submission of tax return and BAS statements, online access to Xero MyOb, tax and payroll obligations, and superannuation and work cover obligations to staff. Please note that this support package has been previously suspended as we were processing a number of applications, but we are pleased to announce that due to popular demand, this support package is back and readily available for our members. If you feel you'd like to access this service, please jump onto the Kinaway website to register your interest. As you all are probably aware of as well, we currently have our Kinaway member business pulse check survey out. The survey seeks to understand the status, operating challenges, and needs of Kinaway members. Participating in this survey helps Kinaway to effectively negotiate for resources and support for Aboriginal businesses and the sector. So I'd encourage all of our members who are yet to complete the survey to jump on and fill it out. More importantly, you'll also receive $220 worth of gifts for completing the survey, which include a $100 naked wine voucher, a gift from Indigenous Business Australia, chocolate bars from Kinaway member Jala Jala Treats, a personalised Kinaway notebook, as well as plenty of other prizes. There's plenty in the survey for all, so please jump on and complete when you get the chance. I'd like to also take this opportunity to make member businesses aware of the Victorian Government First Peoples COVID-19 Business Support Fund, designed to support Victorian Aboriginal businesses that have been affected by trading restrictions. These grants can be used to help meet business costs, including rent and salaries, develop marketing activities, or pivot the business offering in response to the current economic environment. Eligible businesses will be provided with a one-off grant of up to $10,000. Please note that there is a criteria for eligibility. So again, please jump onto the Kinaway website to find out more info. And finally, there are plenty of webinars on various topics available on our Facebook and YouTube channels. So please feel free to jump on at any stage and make yourself familiar with the content. Along with the webinars and support packages mentioned, Kinaway is still offering the usual forms of business support for our members. So if you feel you may need assistance or support of any kind, please feel free to get into contact with the team here at Kinaway. For today's webinar, we're pleased to be hosting an e-meet and greet as we introduce Kinaway's newest team member, Brendan Hede. Brendan joins us as a newly appointed Kinaway Mental Health Clinician and has years of experience as a small business owner and mental health clinician, and brings with him a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge around both sorts of industries. I'd like to welcome Brendan to join me for this morning's webinar as we get to know Brendan a bit about his story.
Yeah, thanks, James. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for joining us, mate. First of all, I just want to thank you again for joining us this morning and welcome you to the Kinaway team. It's a real pleasure to have you on board and to have you available to provide your services to our members, which I'm sure it'll be really appreciated. I want to kick things off this morning just by asking you just to tell us a little bit about yourself and your story.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Hope I don't bore everyone. I'm born and bred in Frankston. Don't hold that against me. It's a beautiful part of the world. Never had one fight. So I don't know what all the talk is about. It's a beautiful part of the world on the Mornington Peninsula. Raised by a single mum. I've got a little brother and sister. Grew up down on the playing footy like every other kid did during the 70s, but my true love was probably for tennis. I left school quite early and did a number of full-time jobs and some fairly sizable company. I learned a lot through places like McDonald's, and worked in a number of factories as I was sort of getting into my late teens, early 20s. I started work at Budget Rent-A-Car. That job took me to Brisbane. I felt like I needed to get out of Frankston for a little while, so I went to Brisbane with Budget Rent-A-Car, and then from there I bought a one-way ticket and took a backpack to Europe, and had 2 years in Europe and came back with a Perth girl, and I settled in WA around 95. Settled down, got married, had a family. I've got a boy and a girl who are now 21 and 18 now. And when I settled in Perth, started my own business. It was a full-service telco, like a mini Telstra. We saw an opportunity in the market. It was a franchise agreement, so we got stuck into that, which I enjoyed. It didn't come without its challenges, but we ran and operated that for over 10 years. And then I did a little bit of work in the motor vehicle industry, retail sales, new car sales, used car sales. I did some buying and some selling, ended up running a few yards and ran a few sales departments as well. And then, early 13, the marriage failed. So I struggled through that for a period of time. There was a couple of years there where I was just keeping things together. And then the opportunity came up to come back to Melbourne because all my family are still here. And I felt that was the best thing for me at the time. So I came back to Melbourne. I've been back 4 years and I've taken a different career path. I went back to TAFE. I never thought I would go back to school after finishing so early. But I went back to school and I studied, I did a diploma of counselling through Chisholm. I found the content really interesting, and I guess it's because, I was encouraged to do it. I think I've just been one of those people that friends have always felt comfortable in confiding in me. I've always been one of those people that's a good listener. So I found the content fantastic. And since the completion of diploma, I've been doing support work with clients that are on the NDIS, the National Disability Insurance Scheme. So I worked with mainly clients that, a whole range of different afflictions, from depression and anxiety to schizophrenia and bipolar and personality disorders. So I enjoyed that work, and now a fully fledged mental health clinician, and really looking forward to focusing on small business. Usually, in my experience, they're the last people to put their hand up for a bit of assistance. And with these uncertain times, I think the time is now never more prevalent than to offer some wellbeing support to small business owners.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brendan. And as you mentioned, so you're currently in this role as a mental health clinician, and you also come from a business background as well, like you mentioned. So can you tell us a little bit more about that and the advantages in, coming from a business background and how you'll be able to provide that sort of specialised, support to Kinaway members?
Yeah, sure. Look, the business that I had just had enormous, like everyone, I'm not on my own here, but enormous challenges. In the telco industry, it was a very high churn industry because people are constantly bombarded with telemarketing, and it's been going on for years. So it wasn't just hard enough to obtain customers, it was a real battle to keep them. So we were coming up with a whole heap of different marketing and initiatives just to lock clients down. There were the simple ideas like contracts or setting up direct debits. That was a nice simple way to keep clients on board. But at the end of the day, being such a high churn industry, it was a constant battle to keep it balanced. Once we got to there was a plateau as well that we reached where there was a big gap between managing or maintaining really good service versus trying to obtain more clients. and there was always a balance there. So we went down the path of hiring staff, and that also presented its own challenges. With keeping staff motivated, keeping them working, as well as being a sales role, was achieving targets and results, which can put a lot of stress and create some anxiety for your staff. But also, I found it a challenge just to keep them motivated. So, along with all of that, just the challenges were never ending. But look, I did enjoy I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the chase. I really excelled at the thrill of the chase of obtaining clients, and whether that was just as simple as knocking on people's doors and introducing my business. It was really wound back to basics on how I tried to grow the business. But the challenges were never ending, as all small business will know. But at the moment, I just feel like this is a completely new ballgame with what we've been going through last year and what we're facing. And I had my own well-being challenges. I was losing sleep, and I didn't bring my problems home because, being the small business owner, I felt like it was my responsibility to be the rock of the family. And carry on business and carry the weight of the pressure of providing for my family. And I did feel like my mental health was declining. And that's when, I first got into the well-being side of my own self. I sought some help and spoke to some people. And it's amazing how, I don't know, you don't think of it at the time, but there are some simple exercises, some simple strategies that you can take on board, and it can just make a hell of a lot of difference to your mental health and help you focus on what you're trying to do, which was, be productive and have a strong ongoing business.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on. So tell us about your role here at Kinaway. What is it exactly? Who's it for? How can people sort of access your sort of services as well?
Yeah. Okay. So it's a small business wellbeing project, and it is for small business owners and their families, and also their staff. And it's as simple as reaching out. There is a phone number, 1-800 Kinaway. It comes directly through to me, and it's for people who, in these with uncertain times, there can be signs of anxiety. There can be signs of stress. And all we really are offering people is the chance to have a talk about those symptoms, the triggers, what it's like. It's different for everybody. And once, we've sort of analysed where these signs and symptoms are coming from, we can then build people up with some pretty good strategies on how to not only recognise them, but to deal with them, so that business goes on, but more importantly, that you, the people, can go on, with a clear head and feeling more positive about it. It's pretty quick how it builds up, and it builds up, and it builds up. Before you know it, you're not eating right. Before you know it, you're not sleeping well, and before you know it, you're not exercising as much, and little things like that can go out the window with the stress and pressure of running your own business. So that's what I'm there to do, is just to have a quick chat. You can tell me as much as or as little as you like, but the service is there for that's it, for just a quick chat, and it's 1-800 Kinaway. It comes directly through to me, and it is completely private. It is completely confidential. None of the information is shared with anybody. It is just me. It stays with me. It goes no further than me.
Absolutely. And what are the sort of expected outcomes of having a yarn with yourself? So somebody is struggling with some form of anxiety, associated with their business, or it could be with their finances, for example. What are some of the expected sort of outcomes of reaching out to yourself and having a bit of a yarn?
Yeah, look, I'd like to think that an expected outcome will be improved well-being. I don't like to use the term mental health too much. I think there is a stigma that goes along with that, but your improved well-being will be the focus for our chats. but there's also some free financial counselling. And don't forget that all this service is completely free. You don't pay for it. There is financial counselling as well. So I get the feeling that people are going to come back to their business and take a snapshot and think, well, there's a little bit of financial pressure, more so than ever, and it can get on top of people. So free financial counselling would be a great way to go for most businesses, but the expected outcome would be just really good well-being, improved well-being, so that you can fight the fight and be prepared. And if there are some triggers or symptoms, that you can recognise them immediately, and you can fall back on your strategies and deal with it, and keep going and keep punching.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brendan. I think we're going to keep it short and sweet this morning for this morning's webinar. We just wanted for our members to really put a face to the name, and just to know they can reach out to yourself if they want to have a yarn at any time on that number, 1-800-Kinaway. I understand that we did have a couple of questions that come through as well, so you might field those. And while we're pulling those up, I'll just ask you one last final question.
Yep.
I know that you grew up playing footy, things like that. So who do you support?
I'm a Kangas man, so I'm quite pleased that I've started with Kinaway, and the office is in North Melbourne.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I feel at home already. No, we're a mad Kangas family. I love the Kangas. I think it came from my dad, and it came from my dad's dad. My father actually lived in North Melbourne, so they go back 80 years. No, more. Yeah, more. It might be even 100 years. My family have been living in North Melbourne, so yeah, and I've convinced my kids that they're going to be North Melbourne kids, whether they like it or not. Crazy on the Kangas.
Sounds good. All right, thanks, Brendan. We have had a couple of questions come through, so I'll just wait for those to pop up, and we can go through those. The first one is from Steph. She says, "Happy New Year, all. Nice to have you at Kinaway, Brendan. Just wondering, are there services available that is specific to female business owners?"
I think this has come up and in the past when talking with Kinaway, and there probably may be some female business owners that won't be comfortable in talking to me, and that's fine. But there is a 1300 number that can take you through to some wellbeing clinicians, which I'd be happy to hand out if you'd like me to give you the number now, or whether Steph would like to give me a call and I can guide her through that. But yeah, there is some women's specific services that are available to the whole project.
Absolutely, yeah. And Steph, if you like that number, or to reach out to some support that is specific to female-led businesses, please reach out to the team here at Kinaway.
Yeah, it's there. It's there if you like.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steph. The next one's from Dylan, and he asks, are there any sort of coping techniques you suggest we can apply when feeling forms of anxiousness, particularly as we feel a range of emotions associated with this COVID pandemic?
Yeah, so it seems like anxiety goes through the roof every time we hear of a new case in Victoria, and that feeling of, oh, here we go again. It's uncertain times. Coping techniques are very simple, and I'll mention a few, but one is regularity, getting out of bed at the same time, having your breakfast at the same time, keeping things very simple and structured in your life is a good way to feel normal. And I don't know when the last time that someone actually just went for a walk. This is something that you can do that actually takes your mind off things. Get out into the fresh air, get into, or even if it's a walk around the block or a walk down at the park and have a look around and smell the fresh air and just take a nice long walk is also a good idea. Lots of water is also good, because we can forget, and we could be sitting on the computer and before we've had a glass of water, we've had half a dozen coffees. Just maintain your water intake. And the one thing that I think the message, look, it's internationally known. You can talk to every psychiatrist around the world, and the first thing they will tell you is to breathe. And there are some really good breathing techniques that we can show you. I know it sounds like I can breathe, but real proper breathing from your diaphragm, and some proper time to do it. A nice quiet spot where you're sitting comfortably, and I can go through some proper breathing techniques with you. And ideally, if there is some anxiousness in your life, if you can breathe for 5 minutes a day, that is good. But ideally, I would like to work with people and get them up to at least twice a day for 10 minutes. It's incredibly good for you, and it's very relaxing.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dylan. We have 2 more questions left. The next one is from Andrew. And he says, thanks, Kinaway, and hi, Brendan. What's the best way to navigate conversations where people share that they are struggling with anxiety or stress? I've noticed I've had more of these conversations lately and want to be supportive.
So I'm assuming that's supportive with others that have.
I'm assuming just to be supportive in that conversation where people are,
I guess what works for me, Andrew, is listening. But look, anxiety and stress is different for everybody. All our symptoms are different. All our triggers are different. So the first thing I would encourage you to do, if you wanted to be supportive, is listen. It's being quite empathetic is probably the key to it. We're not judging here, because it's a serious issue that we're going through. We're going through some really serious, uncertain times. So to be supportive is to listen and not judgmental. There are no right or wrong answers for each individual, but I'm a big believer that people have the inner strength to get through it. We've all been through adversity in the past, and we all carry our own trauma. But we're here. We're still going. We're still fighting. So we do have the ability to get through it, but we do have to rely on all our strengths. But I think being a good listener, Andrew, is the key to it, and being quite empathetic and non-judgmental.
Thanks, Andrew. And for our final question this morning, it's from Jill. Hi, Brendan. What a great service. Are my employees able to use this service if they are under any stress?
Yeah, Jill. So it's for you. It's for the business owners. It's also for your family, and it is also for all your staff. So please pass on that 1-800 Kinaway number. It comes straight through to me if they feel comfortable enough to give me a call, and that's where it begins. But yeah, it's definitely for your staff and your family and for yourself. Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jill, and thank you to everyone who submitted a question this morning. Just want to thank you again, Brendan, as well, for joining us for this little e-meet and greet.
Cheers, man.
Really looking forward to working with you, and I'm sure our members would really looking forward to working with you as well. Yep,
same with me. Thanks, everyone, and thanks for the chance to say hello. Looking forward to it. Don't be shy, guys. You can call me about anything, and I'm here and I'm available.
Wonderful. Thanks, Brendan. To our members who tuned in, thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed this morning's little short e-meet and greet with Brendan. If you do wish to contact Brendan, please feel free to reach out to him on 1-800 Kinaway. Additionally, if you wish to catch up on any of the previous Kinaway TV panel discussion webinars, jump onto the Kinaway Facebook and YouTube channels where you'll be able to access them. Until next time, don't forget to check out any support services Kinaway has on offer through our website as well. And also, don't forget to fill out that Kinaway Pulse Check survey. Please leave a like on today's video, subscribe and turn on the notifications. And we all hope you have a wonderful Wednesday.